this is the main highway to where we're going. My name is Asif Illyas. I'm a musician from Halifax, Nova Scotia. I was born here in Sri Lanka, and as a boy, I grew up here with my younger brother, Shehab. Well, I've got the citronella. We got this for the elephant orphanage. This is the elixir of anti-mosquito. When the tsunami hit just over a year ago, like everyone else, we were transfixed by those TV images. Places we had been to as kids were being swamped, and people were being killed. It was horrific to watch. And when we saw all our favorite beach spots would have been washed away, but actually looking at them now, they seem to be doing, at least in this area, it seems to be really back to normal. Shehab and I both knew we had to do something, so really quickly we rounded up everyone we could. Our friends, some of the best musicians in Nova Scotia, and put on a big show at the Metro Centre in Halifax. It was a great night, and we raised a lot of money that we gave to Oxfam. So, we've come to Sri Lanka to try and get a sense of how the rebuilding is going and where the money went. Yeah, Sugi at Oxfam. Yeah, here we go. Hi, this is Asif Illyas calling from the road. We're just on our way to see you. Yes, how are you? Yeah, no problem. So we'll expect you, see you probably around noon or 1 o'clock at the latest, probably. About an hour and a half south of the capital city, Colombo, you start to see the first signs of tsunami damage and the rebuilding. In this town, volunteers have put together an early warning center. They monitor the U.S. Geological Survey, looking out for earthquakes all over the world. Just where the sign is over there?
Sign, yeah.
So there's water all the way up to there?
Up to that, yeah.
And how long does it take? We meet a doctor named Noville, and he says local people are still afraid and occasionally panic when they hear the word tsunami. He says a lot of good work has been done by the big aid agencies, known as NGOs, but there are complaints too.
This week, NGO comes and give you a questionnaire and asks how many people died in your family, what were they doing prior to that, how many more, what were you doing, all the information. And then people get nothing. The next week, another NGO comes and asks how many people died, how did they die, and all the tsunami stories, and they film it, they take photographs, they go. And next week, another NGO comes.
Right.
And what comes to the people? That is the root cause of the frustration. But on the other hand, when we see here, we can see a whole lot of houses.
Yeah.
But all the good work that has been done has been just, camouflaged by the frustration.
Right. This afternoon, Oxfam takes us on a tour of a work site they've helped rebuild, giving work back to local women. The product is called coir. It's the dried husk of coconuts used to make mats and brooms. The process involves soaking the husks in a seawater lagoon for 6 months, and then retrieving the husks and processing them by hand. Hello. It's hard work, 6 hours a day for just a few dollars cash to feed their families. You must have very big muscles. Yeah. So the lagoon would have been wiped away, and then and refilled up with all this water, which didn't contain the coirs anymore. Okay, I see.
This is the coir that has been fermenting in the lagoon pit, and I'm able to squeeze out the moisture and remove the hard part. That's
yes.
Right. And he says this is what they have done with the money that you have sent.
Okay. Yes.
She says the money that Oxfam has given us.
Okay.
Seen us.
There must have been a huge fear of coming back to. It's good to see how aid money is helping, but at the same time, you know something terrifying happened here, and everywhere you turn, you meet people whose lives were changed forever.
We hear some of the women say, "We will never go back there."
Yes.
Don't give us houses near the sea.
It's horrible. Fishermen were hit especially hard by the tsunami. A year ago, the man on the left saw the waves sweep away his wife and one of his young daughters.
For 11 months I couldn't go back to the sea, but I realized that I have to make a living for my family, and So therefore I've come back to do the things that I have always done.
මට ඉතින් වෙච්ච දේවල් එක්ක මම මූදත් එක්ක අකමැති වුණා. පස්සේ ඉතින් කරන්න දෙයක් නැති නිසා ආපහු යනවා.
He says, for what happened, for what the sea did to me personally, how could I
Go back.
go back? I was like a madman then, but today I know I have to correct myself.
අපේ ගෙදරට කොහොමද පාට දාලා ගහනවනේ.
This is not something that we had ever seen in our whole life, and I never expected that something like that would happen. And the next thing, I was just swallowed by the wave, and I did not know what happened.
ටිකක් කියලා කතා කරන්නේ මම අයිති වගේම කතා කරන්න තියෙන්නේ.
ज्ञानीमाला tsunami what's it තාත්තමල
ඒ මොකද මිනිස් ජීවිත අනන්තවත් මම මොකද කීප බෙරන් ඇත්තට මට ඕන ජීවිතය බෙරගන්න.
He says, I have saved many lives because I am a good swimmer, but this time the one life that I wanted to save, I could not, and I don't like to talk about that.
As people get on with their lives, there's an undercurrent of frustration here. You can sense it. This woman can't get help to repair her house. Maybe our expectations are too high, but a year later, after the hundreds of millions of dollars that were donated, it seems as if the rebuilding is just getting started and it's going slowly. And there's such a long way to go. We've been here for a day, and it's becoming increasingly apparent that people are just not happy with the way the aid has been distributed.
There seems to be a disconnect between the amount of money that was raised all around the world and the money that's actually reaching the people in need.
And what's also amazing is that everywhere you go along this coast, somebody has a story, and it just means that everyone has been affected by this disaster.